Namaste, yogis and yoginis. This is Rupali of BlissfulYogini.com, and today we're going to embark on a journey into the meaning of the Gāyatrī Mantra, one of the most beloved mantras of India and the world. Here the mantra is written in its native language, Sanskrit, and it's depicted in its short form of 24 syllables. It's believed that the repetition of Gayatri will illumine the mind and liberate the soul of the practitioner. Listen to this beautiful clip of the mantra from Bruce Beckvar's version on his album Samadhi.
Bhurvava svaha tat savitu varenyam vargo divasya dhimahi Diyo yuna prachodayat.
In this first part of this four-part course, we'll discuss the rich meaning behind Gayatri. The Gayatri Mantra is considered by most to be one of the oldest known mantras, if not the oldest. It first makes its appearance in the Rig Veda, which is considered to be the oldest written book on the planet, and it was likely composed roughly between 1500 and 1200 BC. Gayatri also makes an appearance in the Yajur and Samavedas. As with all the Vedic mantras, Gayatri is considered not to have an author, but is believed to have been revealed or received by a Brahmarshi, which translates to seer of God. In this case, Brahmarshi Vishvamitra, one of the most venerated rishis of ancient India. The Puranas mention that only 24 rishis since antiquity have understood the whole meaning of and thus wielded the whole power of the Gayatri Mantra. Vishvamitra was one of them. Beloved singer Deva Premal said this about Gayatri. The Gayatri Mantra is said to be the oldest and most powerful of mantras, being thousands of years old. It purifies the person chanting it as well as the listener, as it creates a tangible sense of well-being in whoever comes across it. Translated, it means, may all beings on earth reach enlightenment. But as with all mantras, the meaning of the Sanskrit words isn't as important as the effect the vibrations of the words have on the body and energy centers. Deva's enchanting rendition of Gayatri can be found on her album, The Essence. As mentioned, Gayatri has many meanings. First, Gayatri is the name of the meter in which the verse is composed. It is one of the chandas contained in the Vedas, or meters. It has 3 padas in each verse, 8 syllables per pada, yielding 24 syllables in each verse or stanza. Other chandas may contain perhaps 4 padas or 8 syllables, yielding 32 syllables per verse. All the hymns contained in the Vedas each have one of these 6 meters or chandas. But since a mantra is considered to be not different from the divine entity that forms the content of the mantra, the name of the divine entity contained in the mantra is also Gayatri. In other words, the Gayatri Mantra is not just a means of worship, but it is an object of worship in itself. In this sense, the mantra is personified into a goddess. As the verse can be interpreted to invoke the Deva Savitri, it is often called the Savitri Mantra. However, depending on how Savitri is interpreted, this mantra can also be seen as connected to sun worship, yoga, tantra, and Mother Goddess. It seems that everyone wants to be associated with this mantra. Even Krishna gets in on the act. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, "Of all poetry, I am Gayatri." So let's break down the mantra itself. There are 2 forms of Gayatri, one long form of approximately 42 syllables, which you might not hear very often, and you can see the addition of several syllables. Most of them are ohms. This is the more common short form of 24 syllables. Traditionally, it's preceded by an ohm and then this special phrase, Bhur-bhuva swaha, which is known as the Mahavyarta, or great mystical utterance. This utterance is meant to invoke the power of the 3 worlds. The earth plane is represented by Bhur, the celestial plane or spiritual dimension, swaha, and purva is that which connects them. It has also been said to represent the three levels of mind, bhur being the conscious mind, the part of the mind we have access to, purva, the preconscious, the part from which we can recall things like memories, and swaha, the unconscious, the part of the mind that stores all the undigested emotional content, a reservoir of feelings, thoughts, urges, and memories that lie outside of our conscious awareness. This is the hardest part of the mind to change because we don't have access to it. Most of the contents of the unconscious are considered unacceptable or unpleasant, such as feelings of pain, anxiety, trauma, conflict. The unconscious drives 95% of our behavior, even though we are unaware of it. We just end up wondering why it's always hard to make positive changes in our lives, and we fall back into old patterns. Gayatri invokes and affects these levels of the mind. This is good news for those of us who are interested in change on the deepest level. There are many more subtle layers to this mantra. As mentioned at the beginning of this part, only 24 rishis since the beginning of time have fully comprehended its meaning. There's a story about the great Gayatri that goes like this. At the beginning of time, shortly after the creation of the universe, the first fire ceremony, or havan, was performed by the ancient rishis, as depicted in this painting. It was during this havan that the 4 Vedas were imparted, along with the 50-character Sanskrit alphabet and the Gāyatrī Mantra. Since Gayatri was received at the same time as language and wisdom, it has been called the mother of the Vedas, the source of all divine wisdom. Depicted in this painting are what's known as the 5 faces of Gayatri. These are the 5 goddesses honored by the repetition of the mantra. Lakshmi resides in the center. She's the goddess of abundance, love, and beauty. The 4 other goddesses are Saraswati, who represents divine knowledge, Bhu, Deva, the earth goddess, Parvati, the power of the consciousness, and Kali, the dark goddess of the void. As mentioned before, it would take lifetimes to fully understand all the meaning and beauty connected to Gayatri. The key takeaways for this part are really to impress upon you that Gayatri is one of the most ancient, revered, and powerful of all mantras. It is rich with layers of meaning. Whether you choose to believe all the mythology surrounding Gayatri is up to you. However, you'd want to impart this level of reverence for the mantra when presenting it in your classes. Mahatma Gandhi used to say that his life was an experiment with truth. You might want to conduct your own experiment with life by taking on a practice of Gayatri repetition or japa. If so, part 3 will cover some awarenesses about how to do that. That way you can speak from your own experience. As Gandhi said, an ounce of practice is worth more than tons of preaching. This is how good teachers become great ones. In the next part, part 2, we'll go into more detail about what a mantra is and what makes the practice so powerful.